And we're live. Hey, good Friday afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Talkin Wrestling, Episode 2. Hey, you're going to notice that you're going to see some different things. We got a chat window open so you can talk directly to us. Bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see a little TW icon with Greco Moses on it. Yeah, we're branded now. So I'm Greco Moses, Rob Preach. To my right is John Goodbody. And behind us is Mike Foss, and, well, you know, we got to pay homage, a little moment of silence for the Ultimate Warrior who passed this week. All right, that's enough of that.
That dude is a nut job, man.
He was pretty crazy.
Me and my brother, telling you, last couple days, me and my brother have been listening to a lot of his old school promos.
Right.
He talks about fueling the jets with rocket fuel. Fueling the jets with the Warriors.
The Warriors came to me in a message, in a dream, Mean Gene. And they said, choke Goodbody. Ouch.
Well, Ultimate Warrior would not do that. Likes me.
Well, I think that he got into the WWE Hall of Fame. He said, guys, I'm done. This is it for me. Tapped out Monday.
Dude, let's flip the switch on Talkin Wrestling, and we'll just talk fake pro wrestling.
No.
I think you'd start to see some...
We just worked hard on these topics.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the 24 viewers, if they're watching, we would start to get, why are you talking about the Ultimate? Why are you talking about these idiots?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, Ultimate Warrior died of a massive heart attack, age 54. Steroids, probably.
Definitely a connection, but
heart attack, steroids. I think, in all seriousness, as I was lifting weights earlier today, I was saying that this should.
He was lifting weights.
This should. They should check there. I mean, look at the guys that are. Cooper, Mike Cooper. Shout out to Mike Cooper, my co-teacher, and he was very much a mourning. That's his favorite wrestler. Was very sad this week about this.
So he was an Ultimate Warrior fan.
You know what's pretty funny though?
And we watch it.
Has talked more in this podcast
than he did.
Than he did all last week.
We watched main event from the late '90s or late '80s, early '90s. We watched Saturday night's main event, and we would count the guys that are alive or dead.
How exactly did you coach wrestling? Did you just do WWE moves?
We just dropped elbows and then Andy hits. Dropping elbows and Andy hits. That's all you need.
All right. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. You know, it's been a lot going on this week in wrestling, not just, you know, the Ultimate Warrior dying. I mean, that's sad. But, you know, we're going to get back to real wrestling. And we do have our own main event. I did list that as a main event.
That's going to be fun, man.
The main event you guys are going to like because, you know, Goodbody's from Jersey. Foss and I are from PA. It's on. We'll get to that.
All these other topics are undercards.
It's just an undercard, Mean Gene. We're going to throw it down and steal all the Warriors. All the Warriors are coming in.
We should have went face.
No, I'm too recovering from whatever illness this is going around, so we'll be coughing and wheezing. Yeah, a lot going on in wrestling in the last week or so. And I'll start with the couple of college coaching changes. How about Zeke Jones getting the nod at Arizona State?
Huge news. Saw that it was a rumor. Was not expecting that to really happen. He's been doing great things for USA Wrestling, great things for our country. Him and Rich Bender and all those guys out there in Colorado, man, they had things going in the right direction. And it's shocking, but good for Zeke Jones. He actually coached my future brother-in-law. Shout out to the Copo brothers and Stephen Copo. You know, wrestled at West Virginia for a little bit out there under Zeke. You know, what he coached at Penn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coach at WVU, coach at Bloomsburg. I read the other day too. So definitely has some college experience under his belt. Coached a couple, national champs at Penn with Valeni.
Yep.
Jersey boy, son. You know, early, mid 2003-ish, around that era. Coach Greg Jones, national champ out there. Donnie Jones, NCAA finalist. I think he lost to that was Vertus Jones. Donnie was the youngest.
There's like three.
Vertus Jones was the kid that was the NCAA finalist, lost to KO.
Oh, and speaking of West Virginia University, Craig Turnbull, their head coach for last 30-some years, was fired this week too. So, you've got the WVU job open up. Joel Sherritt, who was the head coach at Air Force, took the job at Navy when Bruce Bennett left. So you've got Sherritt, who was an NCAA champion at Iowa, going from one service academy to another service academy.
Sherritt coached, I think I read, at Navy.
I think he did, yeah.
So that's a good little fit. I'm excited. We have a local Virginia boy who we've all worked with, Peyton Walsh, So, it's going to be exciting, to see him under a new coach and stuff. I mean, they had that one guy, Antonelli, is that his name?
Antonelli.
He filled in this year. Was doing a good job. I mean, they had a pretty good team this year. They were a little beat up, man. Injuries. Just all year for Navy. But I think Sherritt's going to do a good job. I mean, he's been getting those kids tough on top out there at Air Force. So, Navy guys are pretty known to being already decent on top.
Choose top.
Keel!
Matt Keel, choose top.
Matt Keel.
Choose top.
Are we going to give props to Keel every week?
Yeah.
Props to Keel! All right, but so that's exciting,
You start with the Ultimate Warrior, and everybody just gets
excited.
Fired up.
Woo! But let's talk about the intriguing of the position at West Virginia. How intriguing is that job?
West Virginia, it's got that potential. Almost heaven.
Almost heaven.
Are you surprised that I knew that lyric?
Not at all.
I hate John Denver. I hate John Denver.
If you would greater than and less than your hatred.
John Denver and
John Prime.
Oh God, it would be a steel cage match. I would say John Denver I would hate less, but they're both on the
Fair enough.
Yeah. The place could be a gold mine. You get the right coach in there with the right mindset.
You got Pittsburgh right there, right in the backyard.
And you've got the Ohio hotbed right up the street.
Nice.
The last couple of years, they've been getting a lot of Jersey kids coming in there.
Yeah.
Mike Morales is out there. Mancuso went out there. That's just to name two kids right off the top of my head that have gone to West Virginia from Jersey. PA pipeline's been there.
Yeah.
So that job's intriguing. But with the Big 12 falling apart, who knows what conference they're going to fall into next year for wrestling? Especially with the super conference.
They're in there with Lock Haven and those guys right now, right?
No, they're in there with Big 12, man.
Yeah.
They were out there with Oklahoma State. They got to kind of beat up this year, out there. But that job's intriguing. I'm going to be honest. Whoever gets that job, good for them. There's a lot of assistant coaches out there. I think that'd be good. How about Sammy Henson going out there? Let's stir the pot from Richmond, Virginia. Sammy Henson leaving Missouri, takes a WVU job. Probably has no ties to the area, but it would be still awesome. I'd be fine.
I don't see Sammy leaving a program like Missouri.
Definitely not a lateral move. It'll have to be some sort of lateral move.
Yeah.
To move up.
But he's been an assistant coach at a lot of places. Maybe wants a head job. He's interviewed at a lot of places. Chris Bono, he's out there at South Dakota State now, right?
Yeah, he's moved around too. I don't know.
You're going to see a guy, somebody from the East.
That'd be cool.
Come on over.
It's
somebody from the Penn State. Is there a Penn State assistant?
None of those guys.
Those guys. Why would you want to leave that?
Cunningham ain't leaving.
You don't want to leave that program with the facilities and the money that they have coming in. And
That's true.
Have you seen the Lorenzo Wrestling Complex?
No.
It is a thing of beauty.
I've seen his videos and photos of it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Well, continuing with the coaches, Chris Strechtowitz, he was the interim head coach at VMI, Virginia Military Institute, and being that we're here in Richmond, Virginia, we got to give props to our Virginia programs. He was named the official head coach for next year, from here on at VMI. So that's VMI giving him, the reins of the program. And I think that's a step in the right direction. They've got a lot of work to do in terms of the recruiting base.
But that job, that school could sell itself. I know they got to recruit a certain type of kid.
Yeah.
But you graduate from VMI, man, you're set up for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Especially with the Alumni Association.
Absolutely.
Luke Todd.
Yeah.
Doing it up, man. But, let's give a shout out to John Dahmet, also a VMI guy, coming from this area. Good kid, doing really well for himself in the workforce right now. St. Chris guys, out there wrestling right now, man.
We've got a ton of St. Chris guys out there.
It's a good setup out there.
I just want to give a shout out to VMI for always opening up their wrestling room to us in New Kent.
Started with
and a couple other schools,
Trudgeon.
Yeah.
Let us go out there and work out there before states all year because, those mats in Salem get filled up pretty quick. So it's good to go and
you break your
have
finger.
a bunch of open space.
You break your finger on the mats at Salem. I think with VMI, I think what they need to do is I would recruit the national prep type kid because it's a smaller school. They're used to the small environment. They're used to the workload. They can do the workload. The military aspect's not going to be a big deal. I think if it were me, that's the way I would go. I'd look for those guys.
Strats, bring Prebish on board.
Well, he
location is the toughest sell.
He did coach.
He's so tall.
He's very tall.
Their assistant coaches are top shelf too. They're really good guys. Name slips my mind. I mean, they're talking to some of our New Kent kids, but they're just good dudes.
Yeah,
very nice.
I mean, Strechtowitz really was the one of the factors that Josh Wine was so successful when he wrestled at VMI. He was a 3-time
two-sport athlete.
Yeah, NCAA qualifier 3 times. If he had done either sport full time, just imagine. So that's pretty crazy.
You got to mention George Handler come through New Kent.
Coach football out there right now, man.
Yeah.
Talk about a gigantic human being.
Yes, that guy.
Literally and figuratively.
Those Handler boys, man. I don't know what they were feeding him in New Kent back then.
I don't know.
All
right, moving right along. You see a lot of mixed martial arts on TV. Dana White's been in the news. Randy Couture, blah, blah, blah. What is it with MMA and wrestling?
They can make money. I thought about this a lot today.
Right.
And, of course, we're wrestling guys. And I love freestyle and Greco now, especially as I'm getting older, But you got to be able to make money. And these kids, I'm liking this professional stuff they got kind of going out there. Like, Ed Ruth just wrestled like Wilps out there at Flow Nationals with a small purse. Let's get these kids let's get some money in these kids' pockets. That's how you're going to sell, and that's how you're going to keep these guys around.
Yeah.
MMA, wrestlers transition to it. We obviously know all those reasons due to, their work ethic, their just toughness, their ability to, grapple and take things to the ground and control the outcome of positions, all that stuff. But, the only reason a lot of wrestlers are leaving, of course, some of them have natural striking skills,
Right.
Like Bubba, he boxed and stuff growing up. He's a Virginia guy, Bubba Jenkins. Mikey Holcomb, man, from Kellum. Remember that kid?
Yeah, little dude.
That kid was a kickboxer. I mean, where is that kid doing MMA anywhere? And so, like you got guys that have that natural instinct. Maybe they strike. Aaron Pico, he's a boxer. So who knows what he's going to do. But the whole thing is we got to keep money in these kids' pockets if we want to keep them wrestling.
Yeah.
And that brings me to another topic off this. I hope that in Vegas in a couple of days, we make it a show. They did a great job. If any of you guys watched the World Cup, all those highlights, all those matches stuff, they did a great job making it a show.
Yeah, you have to make
the lights, making it a spectacle. I know it's wrestling, but you still got to sell it. Wrestling should sell itself, but not to everybody. And that's the one issue that we run into. Like I said, I've been thinking about this subject a lot today. Because when Prebish told me it was going to be on the topic list, I got excited! Mean G! I'm a yell. But,
why are wrestlers so good with mixed martial arts? Is it because we're used to the workouts, we're used to taking the pain, or what?
Training. That's a big aspect of it, the training.
Yeah.
Wrestlers, themselves, they train grueling every single day.
Right.
And they're used to cutting weight consistently. In MMA, it's a night before weigh-in.
Yeah,
I know some of these.
Easier weigh-in.
And they know how to kind of control their nutrition a little bit better because they've dealt with it their whole lives.
Right.
In other sports where weights and stuff like boxing, I know weights matter. A little bit in judo and all those other martial arts, but they're not doing it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could.
Right.
But, I just think it's a good crossover. But I want to see more kids staying in wrestling and coaching and giving back to the sport. Of course, I'm going to support MMA,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It gives, it gives people something to do after they graduate. and I mean, yeah, the skill set that wrestlers bring to the table is just, I think it sets us up, to be very successful. I mean, we're good on our feet, and then, we take it to the mat. Yeah, you can try to keep a wrestler down, but they're just going to be able to take the shots and find a way to win. So
I don't know. What do you think about this pro stuff they've been doing though, man? They've done it with a couple times, like with like Askren, who wrestled Quentin Wright.
I don't know what that. I just think that people, the general audience doesn't understand wrestling, so you throw something like that at them, they're not.
You have to somehow bring it to the layman. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like people that aren't around the sport and make it interesting. That's the toughest thing to do, to sell it to somebody that's not familiar with the sport. Especially, like in the college, the problem, like in college, like the college finals, the problem was to me is like you had a lot of like slow. Number one, you had a lot of slow matches, defensive matches,
Right.
Where it was like an expert versus an expert. And I mean, if you knew the sport, you loved watching it. But if you're just a layman, that's.
Is that your word of the day?
Layman. Well, no.
By the way, is somebody actually talking to this?
Yeah, it's can you guess? It is Ross Katomer. Shout out to Ross Katomer.
Yeah, Ross.
Katomer, I apologize. I don't mean anything by saying that.
Don't listen to this guy. We told Garland at the FCA breakfast at States that being coached by Garland must be dog years. Like.
I enjoy making fun of you. I apologize.
Ross has been waiting for this all day, and he's been waiting for the broadcast all day.
Waiting for it all day.
We can watch the camera and bring him in here.
Hey, that'll be coming up, Ross. You be ready for that call though.
Because he wanted to know. He's like, guess who this is? And he says, "Good job, fellas. You were showing great leadership." And that was my cue. I knew exactly who it was.
You know who else would tell you you're doing great leadership? John Gordon.
That's why he said it, because he knew it. That was showing good leadership. Good job there, fellas.
I'll tell you something, though. One of the best college matches I ever saw. Tomer, Drew Forshee, going out there in that dual match. That was one of the best matches I ever saw. It was a slow-scoring match with a lot of movement, a lot of scrambling, and rolling around there. It was a good match.
Hey, Tomer, he's single.
I still talk about that. That's like
coming for you.
That's like that's like Fitzgerald's 8th grade year.
Excuse me. Don't worry. All right. And you can chat with us live like Ross Katomer is.
You are looking live.
Yeah.
Dreamish's apartment.
Dude, this idea has been going around for a year.
Yeah.
Like even probably more so. Like we are so excited to do this. So please talk to us, man. Just watch.
Somebody join Ross Katomer out there and chat with us. Ask us decent questions. Yeah, you notice, Ross, that we do have a PG-13 audience here, so keep it clean.
Wait a minute, he beat Forshee, by the way, that match.
Yeah, I have no idea.
He beat him.
I have no idea. But all right.
MMA, so are we still talking about MMA?
No, that's done.
All right, but real quick, Dana White, guy can sell stuff, man.
Yeah, but he alienates people.
He does. He does.
There's something going on with him and Randy Couture, and why would you want to alienate the face of your sport? Randy Couture is still the face of MMA, and why do you need to have conflict with the guy who's the face of your sport?
That's because people think business you gotta be like tough guy and be kind of like well, if we all work together, good things are gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's yeah, you can fight for that monopoly and stuff that UFC is trying to do.
Right.
But Bellator is still putting out a quality product.
Bellator.
I hate to say it, they are. I don't follow as much MMA as I once did. Because there's too many damn shows and events.
It's like
too many.
It's like professional boxing in the 80s and 90s when they had like 6 different belts. Like, who's the world champion? Oh, you're the IBC champion.
The other day in the weight room, Jack put on all the weight belts and stuff. And that's all we talked. All we talked about was like him in boxing back in the day. But hey, man, that's why you look like you would have been a boxer.
Going back to Garland, he said something very poignant a couple of years ago about MMA, because I asked him the same question that we're talking about right now. He said one of the problems is like at the upper levels, it does really well, like when you have like a Dana White and things like that. But you have a lot of like not backyard, but like undercard type stuff that
low
is
tech.
not. My biggest problem is I think it goes away from what wrestling is good at. Is wrestling teaches discipline and good life lessons.
Right.
I'm not sure if MMA does the same thing. I know it's a nice step. Good body, your point is good. It's like, hey, get these guys paid, yada, yada. But as far as a sport that teaches lessons, I think it gets away from that a little bit. And it surrounds itself with some negative aspects of
right.
Some negative people getting around the sport. That's just what I see.
And that is the Mike Foss hat tip of the week.
Hey, and we've got our first serious question here. Has Virginia wrestling grown technically and numbers-wise? Numbers, yeah, we're seeing there's
on the
growth.
youth level.
Yep.
On the
That
youth
actually
level.
brings us to a question, to a topic.
Hey, let's give a shot. Cosby High School, though, a school in Chesterfield County with Midlothian, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. Mosley, I don't know, something out there. But Ed Metzger, you're the man. Mike Stefanko, you're the man. But they had like 70-something kids on their program.
That's
High school
a lot
team
of
with
kids.
70
That
kids.
is
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah.
Like on my youth team back in the day, we started off at like 60. It never lasted. That was on my youth team,
Right.
for that same general area. But they had 70 kids, and then a high school, literally 10 minutes down the road, had like 15. And some of them were 8th graders.
Yeah.
From Manchester. and it's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's that, and to be honest with you, the coaches are two different people, but the coach down the street does a lot more during the off season, per se, with running tournaments and, pushing it, but the numbers aren't there. Maybe it's the success of the programs. I don't know. And I Ed and Stefanko out there at Cosby, they have a good little system of wrestling that they've been running for the last 2 years.
I'm going to speak from where we have gotten, and then previously you can add on, but like with New Kent, we started up a couple of years ago when we got to the new high school. We've had 40 to 45 wrestlers in that room wrestling that are high school, now that's 8 through 12. But when they see that what they had to do, and then to first be on the team and get through everything, and then second, hey, I might not start till my senior year. I might not start till my senior year. That really was not what they wanted to do. We've lost a lot of good wrestlers that would start on other teams because of that. And I think that's what separates some of the numbers. That's what causes the numbers to go down at some points, because they see the effort as opposed to what you can get in return.
Before Priva starts about St. Chris a little bit with numbers, then we'll get into technique and stuff. A new Kent, I remember before this season, me and you were talking. We thought our numbers were going to drop a little bit, just because of some of the numbers we had in the off-season stuff, and that same reason kids thinking they weren't going to start, they might not come out. I mean, we had a couple freshmen that were talented this year that didn't come out.
Yep.
But our numbers increased.
Yeah.
Not by a lot, but by enough. And so maybe it's a little bit of give and take.
We'll see if we get those guys back.
Yeah.
And that's the key. You got to keep them out there.
And having been on both sides, with as a head coach and as an assistant coach, when you're trying to build a program, you want to show that wrestling is something that's tough. It's not for everybody. So I think a lot of kids would come out, and then after the first week, oh my gosh, this is too tough, I can't do it.
Can you talk about the twitchy ears?
The twitchy ears, yeah, we'll get to that later.
The twitchy ears.
Yeah. But this year at St. Chris, we had almost 40 kids on the roster, and there's always been drop off in the past, but we had 1 or 2 kids that quit for one reason or another, instead of having a ton quit because they weren't going to be starters. These kids all worked their tails off in the room, and whether they were a starter or not, to the coaches it didn't matter. They were all working for the same goal. Everybody's helping everybody. The Thursday night JV guys that were wrestling in those events were just as important as the guys wrestling on Friday and Saturday in the varsity matches.
Our middle school programs push each other a little bit. We brought our middle school programs, when Foss started that middle school league. We utilized, you guys had similar numbers on the middle school level that we have in our middle school program.
Yeah.
Obviously, private school, public school, smaller, public school, but The numbers were similar. This was one of the first years you told me that you guys had a couple more of your tougher 8th graders
wrestling
working up with you guys. Yeah. And is that was that because of the number issue, where those kids weren't being pushed down there, or is it because you guys see that they were more viable in your all's wrestling?
It's a little of both. These guys, the couple 8th graders, and and we've had 1 or 2 8th graders each year that have worked out with us. Yeah. And I think for some of them, it's getting some tougher competition with guys that are actually their size. Our 1 8th grader that worked out with us this year, there was nobody his size to work out with. So coming into our practice room, he's got
big fella.
Yeah, he's a 170 pounder. He had 7, 8 guys in a varsity practice to work out with, whereas in a middle school practice, you'd have to wrestle with the coach. So you're getting awfully close there.
I'm trying to get.
Hey, you're that middle school kid y'all brought up though, man. I mean, won a middle school state title.
Yeah, he's gonna help
push our middle school kid who also won a middle school state title.
He's really good too. I thought he was good.
His name is Jens, not Jan Michael Vincent. And it comes back to pop culture. Here we go.
But I feel like the numbers in Virginia, especially the youth level, have improved. High school level, and verdict's still out there. I'm being honest, but technique, was that Ross who asked that question?
Yeah, I'm guessing it was.
Ross, you're the man. What a great question. Technique in the state of Virginia, definitely getting better.
Good job asking that question.
Me and a buddy of mine who wrestled in Virginia, Coach Kurt Jones, coaches at Lee Davis, good dude, just had a baby not too long ago, man. It's his second, it's awesome, man. A little baby boy, I'm pumped for him. But me and him have that conversation all the time, talking about the old days and how the work ethic has changed. But this kid, yes, work ethic has changed, but the amount of technique that these kids know now is unbelievable, and it's because of things like flow. But in Virginia, it's because of the quality of coaches now. Coaches in Virginia are getting so much better. I mean, Mark Strickland at Predator gets those kids better. What you and Ross and Gordon, you guys do at St. Chris, getting those kids better. The clubs up in there, you got what Swink and Black and all those guys do
Darryl
up
Weber
there.
and Christiansburg, Pfizer and Grundy and
Sonny Close, man. Sonny Close.
Brentsville.
Jess Moore, Jess Moore.
Me and
nobody ever talked
about that. That's Brentsville District.
Matt Keel.
Those dudes.
Yeah,
I'm not in the shot. There it is. But let's talk about the quality of coaches in Virginia. That's why these kids are getting better.
Yeah.
Like Sonny Close, kid up at he's a junior director, right?
Yep.
Ross is the cadet director. But Sonny, I mean, BC LaPrade, man, he tells me all the time how good of a technician that guy is, and he's a young dude.
Yep.
And so
that guy's young.
Yeah, he's young. I mean, I think he's younger than me. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, he's. I think he's
guaranteed looks younger.
Yeah, even you look
older.
You look older than me.
I'm looking older than both of you guys.
Damn.
Remember the nurse that didn't know when I asked her? She didn't know.
It's because the
nurse didn't know.
But
the nurse.
She didn't know.
But technique in the state of Virginia definitely getting better, and I'll be honest, it's because the system's a wrestler too.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot more system style wrestling. Different coaches obviously, implementing different things, but you're seeing it coming along. Like you guys with y'all's near wrist stuff, you guys are hammers on top of that stuff. At New Camp, we have a good little system of, just getting after with our hand fight, but not every one of our kids are brawlers.
No.
So what we've utilized is, closing that gap and just firing off quick attacks and, setting the tone on our feet, and you're getting guys that are, not utilizing the Grammy School of Wrestling. Right. But they're tweaking it a little bit and, doing a lot more high percentage scoring, and that's because of the.
You mentioned our near wrist ride that Ross Katomer brought in a couple years ago, and one of our best our best wrestlers doesn't use it, and from a coaching standpoint, that frustrates us.
Joey.
Yeah, Joey.
When did he become a legger? Man, I know he's always kind of rode a little bit of boots.
He's always
watched some of his national prep stuff not too long ago, man.
Right.
Kids throwing in boots.
And the next question goes, when I was in high school, Virginia Beach was the hotbed, and why is that faded off? I think it's it hasn't that it's not faded off. It's changed. The dynamic has changed. It's a different younger coaches. It used to be
you don't have one dominant program down there anymore. You have a bunch of different good programs, but you don't have a great bridge down there. Now you have Cox. It's good. The Great Bridge. It's good.
The question here is Virginia has potential to be with Jersey, Iowa, and Oklahoma. Notice he left Pennsylvania off.
Katomer. It's no good.
How do we get to that? Well, we continue doing what we're doing as coaches, getting out there, working with all of our kids, starting as at the young age, getting them out to the big events, just exposing them to good wrestling, good coaching, and making it fun. And
key right there.
Yeah, and oh wait, he said no. Pennsylvania's way above. Thank you. And that's going to be like our main event topic in a few minutes.
I'm fighting an uphill battle, but I'm going to try my best.
You're gonna,
of course, but we'll talk about that.
We do have a lot of potential in Virginia. It's just getting some of these other kids that are good in state to expand where they're wrestling. It's great to be good in your neighborhood and good in your area, but I think some kids in Virginia are afraid to go outside of their comfort zone.
I agree. And, to be honest with you, like this year, if you look at the VAWA schedule, there's a couple freestyle and Greco tournaments popping up out there.
Yeah.
And when they were in their dominating point, man, they were a lot of those kids wrestling, coming from Virginia Beach to wrestle freestyle and Greco tournaments still out here.
Yeah.
But you didn't see many of those kids for a couple of years at those events.
No.
You would see them at Virginia Beach Nationals and, stuff for like folk style events out there, but not now. You're seeing those kids kind of drifting in, and it's going to catch up.
I think so.
Coaches like the guys at Hickory, they're doing a great job out there. Princess Anne, they're doing a great job down there. Virginia Beach is going to get better again, and they're going to be. obviously still competing at a pretty decent level.
Yeah.
But right now, like we just talked about, the parity of coaches in this area, in the state of Virginia as a whole.
There's a lot of
tons, a lot of options, and the schools are so tight and close knit. That the main thing about that is we all got to be on the same page.
Hey, that's it right there. Yeah, same page. And it didn't used to be that. You'd have one coach that was picking all the good kids out and leaving everybody else pretty much out to dry without caring about what happens. Now you've got a lot of coaches working with a lot of kids, and there's a lot of parity. Yeah, it's tough.
A kid's gonna be, you can show a kid an elbow rip, head outside single all day. But if, Previous might tell you something different than I will, or Coach Foss will, and a kid will respond to it differently,
Yeah.
And that's the main key. If all of us are on the same page, and, obviously we're going to be button heads competing come season, and even during the off season, because, we're all competitors. But when it comes to organization and structure, we all got to be on the same page. And
number one in your heart, number one on the bill. That's right.
All right, so let's move. Do we even want to talk about the NCAA dual stuff?
No.
Let's mention it real quick, though. NCAA duels, the national duels kind of already exist, but it should not be for the national title. I'm going to say that straight up, and I have reasons, because
I agree.
In wrestling, your team, yes. Dual meets are fun. But you're a team also full of individuals, and it's an individual-based sport.
Yep.
So it should be done in a tournament format to declare a national champion.
Based on how your individuals do together.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they do have the national duel sponsored by the National Coaches Association. That's great. But, the NCAA stepping in to make a whole dual meet tournament, no.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
These kids already have enough weigh-ins.
Yeah. Yeah. So... we can skip over the VHSL because we tried that in the past, and
Well, I want to say one thing. What Ross brings up a great point. I think if you're going to do a...
Is that Ross? No, we keep on saying it's Ross, but it might be other people.
Yes,
no, it's Ross.
Well,
Ross is the only one watching.
To get a successful duels, you have to get dual meets to mean more.
Yeah.
And, while, we were at that Picosa New Kent duel. That was a great duel.
Great atmosphere.
36-30. It's great atmosphere.
You guys are Benedictine, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great
that's
atmosphere.
great atmosphere. in the snow. I went to check that out in the snow. That was cool.
That's not going to smell good, guys.
That's terrible.
That's awful. You're
Well,
welcome.
camera, dude. You guys
You're
are
welcome.
lucky. For that.
Anyway.
Sorry. The whole idea of dual meats not meaning anything.
But see, then for every duel like that, there's a duel like, okay, what if we wrestled like a team that had half the squad?
Yeah.
You know, now it's a weigh-in in the midweek that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So that's about getting people out, the numbers out, and getting depth.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the dual meet is the most fan-friendly aspect of wrestling.
Oh yeah.
You gotta watch. I think that's the part that can bring kids in on.
I mean,
how many people were at our duel Picosin? You know, Coach Decker and all those guys did a great job.
Yeah,
Picosin.
It was at Picosin.
That's what they are, Picosin. But we had a lot of people on.
Yeah, we had a lot of new kids, but I mean, it was packed.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you've never wrestled in that kind of environment before, it can be intimidating, but at the same time, it is one of the most incredible experiences.
Oh yeah.
You know, going out there, like I wasn't at the Picosin New Kent match, but I can only imagine that it was very similar to when St. Chris wrestled Benedictine. I mean, we dimmed the lights. Place was jam packed. You know, their fans were incredibly hostile, but it was so intense.
Yes.
And it was as fun of a dual meet as I've been involved in. You know, going way back into when I was competing, I don't think there was as fun of a dual meet.
I mean, and you see
1990, Ephrata versus Mannheim Central, mid-level Pennsylvania team.
That's taking it way back.
They filled the gym up, and they had to simulcast it into the auditorium.
Nice.
And watch it on the screen there.
Ephrata.
Yeah, Ephrata, and those are mid-level teams.
Ephrata. Yeah, I mean, who?
That's
Frable. He knew Frable.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
That's because
West Virginia.
That's because, you know, the state of Pennsylvania and the state of New Jersey, I mean, they do a good job promoting the sport. You know, I'll talk a little bit about that later.
But that's about
just
depth.
media and stuff.
Yeah.
Depth's huge.
Media,
That is about
huge.
depth, and also how you lay out your program. You don't need to have 50 matches in a year. You really don't.
Well, but also
But they need it in Virginia.
Well, I mean, you know, talking about dual meets not having value, when the state organization says you have 12 calendar dates,
Exactly.
and you want to get your kids as many matches as they can, you're not going to schedule a one-on-one dual meet because
But
it doesn't.
Look at Pennsylvania. What do they schedule?
Well, they have a point system.
They have a point system,
yeah.
yes. But when they get to the state tournament, they don't have 50 matches.
No, but they also have an organization that will stop people from moving solely for athletic purposes. Zane Rutherford, you know, was a freshman at Penn State this year.
Yes.
Zane was a state champion
They
as a
have
sophomore.
Yeah.
He went to Line Mountain High School. Kid's a state champion as a sophomore. His family up and moves to a different school district, to the Benton School District. And it's closer to his dad's job. They buy a house, whatever. PIA says, you only moved for the sole sake of wrestling. You're sitting out a year. They don't do that down here.
No.
They put it to the district, and the district doesn't want to do anything because they don't want to be the bad guy. So it doesn't have credibility.
Yeah.
So until the VHSL decides to, you know.
With you getting sick, man, you kind of sound raspy.
I sound very raspy.
You're Gordon-esque.
My bad. It's very Gordon-esque today, I know.
We need some people back cracking.
Why is it okay for a team with 9 people to beat a team with 14 people tournament-wise? Scoring points, getting guys in the finals.
Bonus.
Yep, getting pins.
Point of wrestling is to pin people.
Near wrist ride, sticking people. Yeah. All right. Before we get to the main event. You know, we're heading into spring break down here in Virginia, and you know, the big question for clubs and programs, is it good to take time off? If so, how much time do you give them? And I'll talk about Christmas in a second.
Let me tell you, I want to add something.
Let me tell you something, Eugene.
Let me tell you something, man. Which, by the way, I like looking at those tapes and they're like, hey, one of those guys was later governor of Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Anyway. All right.
But I digress. Spring, we are one of the few. There's not a lot of teams going back to the original point of getting kids out and stuff like that. There's not a lot of just, you know, there's clubs going year-round.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of teams going year-round in the area.
Right.
I think that's a problem.
Sure.
But what we did, our theory with spring break, we started early. We started a little earlier, and we saw the kids like their effort. Maybe they need some time off, including the coaches.
Well, and also you guys had a couple bumps and bruises last week. You had a couple guys get hurt.
That sealed the deal.
That sealed it. We were kind of on the fence. This is the first year since I came on board at New Kent full time that we've taken off spring break. We didn't really ever go hard during spring break, but we'd lift and then we'd get like a little light roll around, send the kids home. But like this year, me and Coach Foss, we started talking about it 2-3 weeks ago. We started talking the spring break discussion, just kind of where we were, and then when we got a couple kids banged up and we kind of see the the focus and stuff going, we knew that hey, these kids need to take some time. They need a little bit of time for rest and recovery. The kids know.
Hey, just help yourself to anything in my fridge.
No problem.
These kids,
just keep talking.
We're high tech here at the Greco Studios.
These kids have these kids they got stuff going on. They got families. They got to travel. They train super hard already. So we got to make sure we keep them going on the right path. If it comes taking their spring break off, I'm okay with it. Did some parents joke on me a little bit? Absolutely. They were joking. But you got some clubs that are still opening their doors and stuff.
That's good.
Our kids know we're going to check on them and make sure they're still, lifting and staying focused.
And during the season, the holiday that kills us is that Christmas break and, how much time to giving the kids off. When I was a head coach,
none.
And I would give them Christmas Day off.
That's Christmas Day. That's what we do.
And, I would have a practice Christmas Eve day so we could get a drill in. And honestly, because I don't celebrate Christmas,
I'm sorry.
if a couple of my kids called me up and say, "Hey, coach, can you open the room up? I want to get a workout in before Christmas." The whole Christmas dinner thing. I would have opened the room up for them. So
keep talking.
Now over break, it's one thing to take a couple days off, give them the holidays off. But then when like we had a couple guys that just disappeared for 2 weeks, and they had to get back into their rhythm.
That can't happen.
It's the kitchen at the Greco Moses Studios. Hey, why don't you make me a pizza while you're back there?
Yeah, but you can't.
Plenty of goldfish available here.
The kids can't disappear though.
No,
like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's during the season you have to be all in, and you have to commit 100%.
I think the key to that is make sure you have a lot of. I think you have to have a lot of tournaments and stuff during. When I say a lot, about 2 or 3.
Right.
During, even including JV. To here's your carrot. If you come to practice, you're going to go to this, and this. You're going to get an opportunity.
True.
Our B team competed during the break.
Yeah.
We traveled during the break.
Mills Godwin.
We have very supportive parents, and Coach Foss and Coach Hitz, brought them on board. Like they had the program kind of set up where the kids expected it. But me and Foss, we communicate a lot as coaches. We're on the same page that we understand when we have some, aches and pains, when we got to take it easy in the practice room. We need to take a time off. And to be honest with you, this spring break just happened to be that time for New Kent Wrestling. Was it a hard decision for us? Absolutely. But, I think it was the right choice going forward for the rest of this all season and going into the next season,
Mm-hmm.
But, are y'all taking off at St. Chris? I know you're going out of town. Ross, you running practices or anything? Because you're probably the only one watching still.
Ross lives at St. Chris. He's right there.
He has a little cot.
He's got a little hut in the back room. That's his apartment. In the back room.
Him and Pope cuddle.
I think our guys are working out. So it's all good. All right.
1 second.
Now on to the main event.
Oh, we're already on there, man.
We're on the main event. We've been talking like almost 45 minutes.
It's all you, good body.
45 minutes.
Before we get on the main event, let's get some shout-outs.
Let's do it after the main event.
It's not the main event.
People like the shout-out after the main event. You know that.
I think we'll cut promos. We'll get on the main event.
Hey, when you're down in Virginia Beach, make sure you stop at.
All right, but main event, Jersey versus PA wrestling. You know, you can throw in your Ohio comments if you want, California.
No.
But we're just doing the two?
No.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
Because there are no other two that matter.
California's
No, it doesn't matter.
It's getting tough, but hey.
It doesn't matter.
But I'm going to try to argue for the Jersey side. I know it's going to be tough, but I'm going to give it my best. What you got, Prevish?
When your state symbol is a freaking garbage can, you start with that, okay?
Well, the armpit of America, buddy.
You're more than, you're a stinky wife.
There are times where America wants to cut Jersey off so it float out fend for itself.
And they would be able to fend for themselves, though, because they're tough.
Well, when you go over the Delaware River Bridge...
The smell changes.
The smell changes, the color changes, because it's a freaking big dump.
Whoa.
It's a dump.
There's some beautiful
toxic
places. You haven't made it like not
except for
you haven't cut off and gone like to Atlantic City, like through like the country and stuff.
There's country.
Yeah, there's farms and stuff, like Vineland and stuff. Man, it's beautiful area, man.
You go right through Cowtown.
Yeah, beautiful area.
Are you kidding?
Well, Jersey has a little bit of all, man. It's a little bit of mountain.
I know. I'm being facetious.
City.
I've been through northern Jersey when you cross over. You know,
I thought we were arguing wrestling.
Oh, we're going to be arguing
wrestling. We talk about Foss and Mannheim, Sancho Barrett. You know, like what the hell's out there? Nothing.
You have Amish.
It smells terrible.
Amish.
And yeah,
that's the bread basket of the country right there, buddy.
It's the manure
corn, buddy.
It's the natural.
Pretty much everything you ate.
Compost pile.
Probably it.
Jersey is beautiful. Yes, it is, man.
Ocean City, New Jersey.
Yeah, when you walk out on the beach and step on some broken glass.
Not at Ocean City.
Whoa! They cleaned up. My family lives near Sandy Hook, and that used to be pretty dirty, man. But they've done a good job of cleaning that area up.
And now people in the back are like, I can't believe he's talking about Jersey like that, yo. What's he talking about Jersey like that, yo?
Whoa. Well, you know, state college people are like twitchy. You're getting twitchy.
It's Happy Valley.
Those are 5 years.
Happy Valley.
You know, I mean, you ever been to Bethlehem? Like
every year that I've been at St. Chris, and every year that we go to Bethlehem, it is dark and gray
and sad.
And our Virginia kids are like, "Is this how Pennsylvania is all year round?" Like, no, the sun does shine.
It's so sad.
Yeah,
it's so sad. Like, I mean, I've never been up there for wrestling. I went there because my cousin was getting tattooed. That was an adventure, but we'll talk about that.
And your cousin's from where originally?
What?
Where's your cousin from?
Jersey, buddy, Jersey.
And why did he go to PA? To get a tattoo. I gotta get a tattoo.
His buddy moved out there.
The sun shines in Lancaster County. I just want to point that out.
It probably does.
It
probably does, but
Bethlehem's still recovering from that steel. It's probably still like on a steel clouds out there.
Well, they're living there in Allentown.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep the good.
They're tearing all the factories down.
All right. Anyway,
wrestling. All right, we're gonna break this down. I think, in my opinion,
all right,
we should break it down in the neutral and then on Mad Wrestling.
Okay.
All right. Is that cool?
Best
you want to break it neutral?
Ocean City, New Jersey. Check it.
Right. How do you want to break it down?
I mean, the variety of ways you can go: folk style, freestyle, Greco. You can go.
Let's do it all. Let's just have like a smorgasbord.
A Royal Rumble
of like Jersey talk. We're gonna go neutral wrestling right now.
All right.
In my opinion, Jersey wrestlers are better on the feet.
I think they have heavier hands. They like to smash, collar ties. But I tell you what, you got a Central Pennsylvania boy out there hitting his head outside, getting his motion going, clearing the collar tie. We're hitting that head outside, and we're gonna take you down. What are you gonna respond with?
Will we respond? If you recently watched a lot of Jersey wrestling, guys are still cutting that angle now, trying to beat that shoulder, but then they're actually building their hips back up.
Okay.
You're seeing a lot more guys scoring from this fundamental, getting their hips back positions. And, their heavy hands, I mean, those guys are banging in the head, straight on, head on inside singles or, even knee pulling off of it a lot of the time. I mean, look at the national rankings right now for Jersey wrestling. Boundbrook. You ever see Boundbrook? I mean, they produce Andrew Campolitano.
Yeah.
But now they're producing kids that going down the NHSCAs and winning it. They're like in the top 20 now. And North, they're not even the best school in the state of New Jersey. They're a pretty unknown school. They're competing on the national level at duels, and it's because of neutral.
I used to have a Bound Brook Wrestling T-shirt, by the way.
You thief, man. You are.
It was a gift.
Where did you get a gift from?
It was a gift. I dated a girl from Jersey for a while, and she lived like in the next town over from Bound Brook.
Okay.
This is going to sound weird, good body, but neutral is the great equalizer because you can get there quick. You can get there.
Take them down, cut them. Take them down, cut them.
You can shoot one move off the bottom.
And I'll be honest, up in Jersey, you're seeing a lot of less guys doing that leg pass bullshit, man. I cursed. My bad. I did it last week too. My bad.
PG-13. Swear jar, young man.
I will. But to be honest with you, like you're seeing a lot of guys. They're not as much scramble situation. I mean, you're seeing them. I mean, there was some good matches that involved a lot of scrambles. One of them was with Clark. Was originally the McDonough kid, always from New Jersey, even when he was at McDonough. Though.
Now, did he win Jersey State?
Yeah, man. Awesome match against Gary Dinmore from 100 Central. Awesome match, man. Gary Dinmore's unsigned. I wonder where he's going to go to school. I don't know how good of a student he is, but kid works hard. He wrestles for Rhino Wrestling Club. With Mikey Malanconico, who does a podcast called Wrestling Life. Look it up, man. That's some cool stuff. I feel like what we're doing.
I don't know. We're gonna close that out for a minute.
All right, but in my opinion, I think Jersey wrestlers are better on the feet, and it's gonna help wins them a lot more matches than it does. And if you're watching Blair Academy, man, if you're gonna talk Jersey wrestling,
I know Ross. I know you're a native Jersey guy,
and he's a Blair guy too.
Well, no, what I'm saying is how many Blair guys are actually
a lot of them. Look at McKenna, Blair kid.
PJ Clee. Well, I mean, he left.
He was a California kid.
Yeah. Mason Manville,
Virginia, Minnesota, Virginia. We would go Virginia.
Yeah.
All right, but what's here? Charles Tucker.
Is he?
I think he's Jersey.
Is he Jersey?
Then you got why am I going blank? Malonis, Jersey.
All right.
That Della, I can't pronounce his name. The 170-pounder. He's a Jersey kid.
And I mean, with Wyoming Seminary, we can't even.
Those kids all from all over the place.
Yeah, they're not really a PA school, even though they're a PA school. Nothing against Scott Green. I mean, did a great job coaching those guys up at National Preps. But when I
start saying St. Chris ain't a Virginia school.
Why? Because how are we not a Virginia school?
I'm just talking shit.
Maybe if we're not a Richmond school, but we are a Richmond school.
You are a Richmond school.
I mean,
I run by it all the time.
You are a Richmond school.
St. Chris. You got your name. You got your street right there.
I know.
All right, but all right. So, what do you guys think? Jersey neutral? Are we gonna agree with this?
Oh wait, Gatomer is throwing all the guys that went to Blair from his
Kellen Russell,
Kellen Russell, Hudson Taylor, John Giacchi,
of Jingleheimer Schmidt,
Jody Garrett, Sean Gray, Rob Preston, Mark Bogart. Oh, all the same district.
Sean Gray, Virginia Tech guy, man. Virginia Tech kid too. That's awesome.
He's just gonna keep listing random Blair guys.
That went from New Jersey.
He's gonna keep running random.
Zach Esposito, man, coaches at Oklahoma State.
Rolling in.
Kurt Backey's coaching. Was he at Iowa right now? Still, is he still at Iowa?
Same district in Jersey.
I love it, man. I'm fired up now. All right, but Jersey's better on their feet. Bottom line.
What do they do to take you down?
What?
What do they do to take you down?
Over it.
No, you didn't.
We're talking heavy hands.
Okay.
Heavy hands. A lot of kids also snapping the front heads.
Okay.
I was talking about getting in the head on the inside, straight on singles.
All right.
They also have good knee pull singles.
Okay.
All right. They're beating on the angle. They're not getting
What makes that better than the Pennsylvania high crotch to a double or
PA kids aren't doubling off now. They're cracking down.
It's hell yeah, Jersey. You got.
All right, I just want to say
he's jumping up and down.
I'll just say this. All right. So we take to the Powerade our probably best team ever.
Yeah, we had a good team there.
And we wrestled right back to back. Third in the state, we go against some random dudes from God knows Peters Township. Who the hell heard of that?
I've heard of Peters
All
Township.
right, yes, I've not heard of them, and I am
Hey,
from Pennsylvania.
one of those kids that beat one of our studs currently wrestles at Maryland.
You've had your time, please. Yes.
You've had your time.
He goes and beats the crap. He beats our third in the state guy. Next guy up beats another all-state guy that year. Is later third in the state the next year. Okay, so you have that. That's Peters Township. You never heard. So then, fast forward to last year.
How about we talk about South Plainfield, that same
You've
team,
had your
buddy.
chance. You've had your chance.
You're
Now-
out of order, sir. With a kind gentleman from Jersey, please shut
you
up.
see the state finalist from New Jersey who basically ran away from our kid, who was a state champ, and lost and actually won. I'm sorry, won by in overtime.
North Carolina?
Depth. My point is this: depth is the difference.
I disagree.
You don't have those types of kids in New Jersey.
Yeah, you do, bud.
That you
They
like
just-
randomly like.
They just don't make it.
Oh, I've not heard this
They just
guy.
don't make it to the state
They
tournament.
can't. They can't. Like a lot of those guys, like they can't. Like in Jersey, they have a hard time traveling even out of state. So it's a lot of fundraising and stuff. So
Yeah, because we know how the economy is tanked in Jersey, so it's very difficult.
But I agree. There's a lot of depth in PA, but there's also
a lot of
depth.
depth.
But look at what's
I
the
think there's more
population?
depth there.
Does Jersey have what's the population?
I don't know. Well, Jersey's.
And with apologies to Katerma, I don't think you get to count.
Are you afraid like Ross is gonna beat you up or something?
He is
Oh,
afraid.
No, I don't know him very well. Here I am making fun of him, like saying he looks like
All right.
Mario.
So
Luigi.
neutral. Let's just call it because we're gonna keep arguing about it. We're gonna go to the mat. Then we'll go to freestyle and stuff. On the mat wrestling.
What you got? Your Gazzoni roll? What is that? Something you
No,
eat?
the
Can I get a side of
To be
marinara?
honest with you, I've been pretty impressed with a lot of Jersey guys implementing that near wrist ride.
Right.
They kind of pull into that claw, and then they're rolling off to a near wrist.
Mhm.
And then, like, a lot of times they're riding. You don't see as many turns with it, unless, like, from the Blair guys.
Right.
But they're wearing people out on top. And then also utilizing that claw, the inside thigh pride, getting their boots in off of it. And they're hammering kids. Right? But you also, like, what I saw is a lot of scramble tilts.
Okay.
Like not like your clean, like, deep waist, getting that forward pressure, getting into your cross wrist tilts. You're seeing a lot of, like, roll through, but catching elevators.
Right.
And getting some cheap backs. And, that's fun wrestling, on top.
Well,
And on bottom, in Jersey, it's a lot of, just clearing off, finding hands, getting up to their
that's
feet.
pretty much at high level wrestling. You're just going to see stand ups. PA top Garrett Peppelman. All right, doing that whole Mason
The Mason tilt.
tilt.
People stopped choosing bottom. because
Gazzoni roll. What does Steinbacher call it? The Gazzoni. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, Coach Foss, what do you call it?
The hook roll.
The hook roll. I don't know.
For years.
Well, we call it the Hazard roll. So Brian Hazard, if you're watching, it
He
is.
needs to be
Oh,
watching. That guy.
you're talking about Mason tilt.
Yeah, Mason tilt.
Gazzoni is like on bottom. The Mason tilt, Steinbacher calls it the Bloomfield.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Bloomfield tilt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well,
Which also is. I know that's a Bloomfield.
Steinbacher's a New Jersey guy.
All right. Anyway, so you've got Peppelman with that series. Those guys are freaking lethal in that area with that Mason roll
But
tilt.
even the average wrestler in Pennsylvania.
Top on top.
Well, also
tough on that.
I'm actually going. I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
So that second, you've got kids at Penn State now. He's a redshirt freshman. Garrett. He actually wrestled for Gordon at seminary. Was ridiculous with a claw and a spiral. Then you've got the Morris brothers on top that were crazy.
They
good.
were also from seminary, right?
Yeah, crazy good with claw
One
and
of them,
tilt.
Kid Fitzgerald, at the football tournament.
So you've got that whole series. Chambersburg area, ridiculous with that claw tilt. Then you've got the good old-fashioned backyard, throwing the boots and crank the crap out of you, which I grew up with. I mean, obviously being 5'2", I was not much of a leg rider, but everybody knew how to ride legs. And, I mean, so that's 3 different series right there where we're going to dominate you on top.
There's a lot of riding that goes on. And then we can get in this argument about riding time.
Notice he paused for a second because he didn't know what to say.
No, I was fine, man. I was
Finally.
Oh, good! All right,
Edge, Pennsylvania.
No.
Pennsylvania.
But there's a lot of riding that goes on in PA for high school wrestling. That, should they be done for stalling?
Dong.
Dong.
Hit.
I don't know, hit, whatever you want to call it.
Hit.
Warned.
Done, warned.
Dong.
There should be a lot more stalling calls for top man up in New Jersey.
Right.
There's the
And if we're going to talk Peppermint, Marshall Peppermint, stud, wrestler Cornell, You know, that kid's, yes, he has that great crosswist tilt.
Right.
You know, Mason tilt, all the different names, but whatever you want to call it. But he also stalled a lot on top. He's kind of hanging on, would get the crosswist, would kind of just hang out. That's not fun wrestling. You know, in Jersey, if the guy's riding tough, they're usually going to cut him loose. Or they're going to be trying to cause a situation where they're going to get a cheap set of backs.
Right.
All right. Am I saying what's a little bit more high percentage? You know, I'd maybe lean towards the Pennsylvania style of wrestling.
Thank you.
But if we're going to talk about entertainment value and the potential to put more points on the board, I'm going Jersey wrestling on top.
Entertainment value, yeah, because you're going to have fans in Jersey coming out and
again, you're talking about the culture. We're talking wrestling. We're talking wrestling. That's the title of this weird video podcast with this creepy guy back here. I don't know. Why are you so close to us now, man? All right, bottom. Now it's talking about being on bottom. I can't read that, man.
No, can we just
Ross has been typing up. No, we're going to go bottom real quick. We're getting a little long. No, we're going to go bottom.
You stand up, you get one. That's what you
it's pretty high percentage.
Yeah, it's...
But, to be honest with you,
it's no Virginia Grammy roll.
You know.
All I'm saying is, you know, PA, New Jersey, whatever, we can argue, but the top high schools, states in the country,
right?
You know, those kids are transitioning better for college because they're better on the mat.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, I was just arguing about Jersey being better on the feet.
Entertainment.
That's it.
What?
Scott Willoughby, who is a District 3 from Red Lion character, he's chiming in. One of
Red
my
Lion, Pennsylvania, son.
Entertainment value. That is a great.
York County representing. Right across from the Susquehanna from the Great.
Get off the Susquehanna, man. Who gives a
Hana?
It's Susquehanna.
I don't know, man.
Susquehanna.
They fly a scrapple on one side.
Yeah, we know the scrapple joke. We know the scrapple joke. All right. Let's get some shout outs, man.
Well, I've already given 2 shout outs to Gatomer and
said Red Land, which is from New York. Then.
Yeah, Scott Willoughby, you're the man. He just put on a great tournament over the weekend or a weekend or 2 ago. That
what town is that in New York, Coach?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, you cut my shout out. Come on, you're killing me, Smalls. No, Willoughby put on a tournament that attracted. It was called the Old and Fat Tournament, and it was all for old wrestlers to relive their glory days. And I bet it was freaking entertaining. I will not wrestle in that tournament. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do it.
You're neither old nor fat.
I'm old. I'm old.
Nah.
I'm old. So that's my first shout out is to Scott Willoughby. Appreciate you guys listening. Gatomer, it's all about leadership, Gatomer. Good job showing leadership, Gatomer.
Hey, Ross, I want you to type it in. How many times has Previous cracked your back? And I'm not talking intimate back cracking. I'm talking about, like, you really being a little tight before practice.
I don't think I've ever cracked his back.
Previous, he's looking a little tight in there.
You better get in there and crack his back.
Crack the back, Previous. All right.
He needs a back crack.
What's awesome, I'm going to give a shout out to the twitchy ears of Rob Prebish.
Like
the twitchy ears?
The twitchy ears.
A lot shorter, but just as eventful.
All right. We had a little bit, Prebish had a little bit of, going back to the twitchy ears last night at the New Kent workout.
Yeah, my old assistant coach, Nathan Broughton, stopped by.
Awesome.
Top shelf.
Good dude.
Not as top shelf as Schuler from last week.
They're right there, pretty close.
But it's up there. It's up there.
Pretty close together.
Yeah, he's helping out his alma mater, Cortland High School. Just loves the sport of wrestling, and took on his day off from work, came down and checked things out at New Kent, videoed some of the technique.
Roll around with some young guys.
Did an awesome job helping that one of the kids that was there.
Jones. King William.
Yep.
Yeah. But
black and gold.
Was just stoked, man. That guy made over an hour trip down just to work out and get back to the sport. Some of his kids were in spring sports, but hopefully he starts to bring them down and they'll work out with us a little bit, man. That was awesome, man. It fired me up a little bit. Shout outs, man. Previous, you're going home.
Yeah.
Going home to PA, man.
Shout out to Mama and Papa Prebish. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
Took a walk down the road.
looking forward to getting home for a few days.
To stay.
What the hell are you doing?
You know,
Jeez.
but
Cinderella. Are we
I'm gonna
closing?
No.
yeah, man. You know, I'm gonna be honest though, man. We gotta keep these video podcasts going. They're so much fun.
Next week,
I've been
we're
so
going to
proud.
probably post like an actual time a little sooner, so you guys will be able to communicate with us. Check it out on Facebook. We'll be on there.
Like, you know, we've been talking. The first couple of these is probably just gonna be us three, just kind of getting it going.
We're
We're gonna start bringing in some people,
locations.
man.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You know, bringing in everybody, talking wrestling. You know, joking around a little bit. You know, I could have used some help today. You know, Ross helped me out. You know, on the computer, but I would like to have him here against these two BA jerks. You know.
We'll get
The
Katomer in.
great mighty rectangle. Do not mess with it.
You know, but I mean, overall, you know, it was a good time, boys.
The great mighty rectangle.
I was trying to ignore it.
What is that in Pennsylvania?
That's Pennsylvania.
You know, I'm gonna give one quick last shout out to Brian CO Tech LaPrade. If you are in Virginia and you know the Virginia wrestling, you probably have ran into Brian CO Tech LaPrade.
Coach, this is Brian
Brian
LaPrade.
noticed he's never changed his clothes in his life.
Yeah.
He's always wearing something Alabama or something Maroon.
Alabama.
Or ODU.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coach, this is
Or
Brian
Fargo.
LaPrade. My boys, BC LaPrade. I got to talk to you about this here trip that y'all taking down to Daytona for them cadet duels. Now, school year is giving him some trouble
I
about
remember
his
that.
hands.
I remember that.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, but I've taken care of that.
And
Well, that's good that you're taking care of
that. The Mrs. Jones who you met a couple weeks ago didn't know who you were. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. What
Last week?
Yeah, she asked me what I was doing in
He
your
was
school.
retiring. Chris Valdraghi.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, man. But just, you know, like, that's just give a shout out to him and all the other parents, you know, that, you know, make it fun to coach. You know, some parents can be pretty difficult, you know, but overall,
Some
you know,
parents call you once a week and on your trip into work.
you know, parents that make it fun, you know, to be around the sport. And at New Camp, we're blessed to have a, you know, a high level. You know, at St. Chris, I'm pretty sure they have you guys in the same situation.
We've got some
You know,
great
parents that aren't overbearing on their kids. You know, just want to give a shout out to them. Hopefully, you know, they're getting the opportunity to watch this and watch us act a fool and, you know, basically do what we enjoy doing, talking wrestling, hanging out with our, you know, our friends.
Good job, fellas.
Good job,
fellas.
Now, I think I need a back crack. I've been sitting on this.
Fellas,
back.
it's all about separation day. See, the first day of the tournament, you gotta weed things out, get through the rough matches. Today's second day, it's a lot of big points to be scored. It's all about separation day. We're gonna do great today, fellas. Good job out there. Great job showing leadership. Let's get a
And
break.
on that note,
Let's get a breakdown, fellas. Saints on 3, ready? We're not gonna break it down. We will break it down with the
Talking wrestling. Love it.
Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior. Rest in peace. All my warriors out there.
only the good die young. Remember that.
Woo!